All right. So we need to mention this because there has never been a time that I'm more convinced that this is real. No other time. Not during the lockdown, not during the years and years of wrong dates and times and spinning in circles over and over in this endless loop. And false alarms, let's not forget about the false alarms where we would be right there on the brink of disaster only for it to be pulled right back. This event relating to Trump not only was prophesied by someone a few months prior in exact detail, it is also detailed in the Illuminati card game about a person like him that looks exactly like him on the verge of assassination. Even more than that, I had completely forgotten that the hole in the ear of the rabbit was even there in ipetgoat2. Theology Ed mentioned this hole several years ago, and he actually equated that to Trump. Years ago, he talked about this hole in the ear relating to Trump. Now, what happens though? This is my big question and my big concern is when the hole in the ear on the buck rabbit appears, that's when the exit sign lights up. Exit to where? Exit from what? I think I have an idea, but it's still not quite clear enough. Now, I do think the blue figures on the ground in the animation is a northern overlapped view of the USA. And clearly, there's no indication that it's any other time frame but in July, with the buck deer and the buck rabbit and the buck moon. Now, why I'm making this video was to share that theory, was to talk about this cartoon again, despite me having stopped doing this and not talking about it on here. I talk about it on TikTok, but not on here, but I need to share it on here because I think if we could shift our perspective, we can see that whatever year it is, it definitely points to July without a shadow of a doubt. And before I get into that, and I know I should have the cartoon up, but I'm not going to. The MV1 1345 Jax video released by Heliofont. My friend Jeff Overholt had mentioned 13th day 45th president. Now that's interesting for sure. I would say that that's probably correct. But anyway, for those of you who know what I'm talking about, who know about the apple rolling on the ground and it blossoming into a water lily in front of Lily, we know that the light above is shining down on this apple. And that light above, in my opinion now, I believe, is the sun. And the apple is the earth. and that is the sun shining upon the earth, and it's rotating, and it's rotating on its axis, and it rolls and rotates. I counted 9 times, 9 or 10 times, and see the earth hits the letter C, or a backward C, which is a crescent moon. And the crescent moon is now covered, right? The moon is now covered by the shadow of the earth. And what comes out of that is enveloped the water lily, and that is a representation of the water lily full moon enveloping the earth. And as the apple splits into 2, if you read from this direction to this direction, you clearly see a sequence of numbers indicating 7, 2, 1. There's 2 seeds, and then there's 1 seed. Now, that is when the buck moon, full moon is this year. If this event with Trump didn't happen, I would not be making this video right now. But this has me a little bit concerned, because there is absolutely no chance in hell that that ear and the hole in the ear of the rabbit is a coincidence. And actually, you can even look at it as the 13th day in the classroom as well. 13 figures right there. And the 7th one, Lily, the 7th figure amongst the 13, drops the water lily full moon. So it may well mean absolutely nothing. Very true, and has meant nothing for years. But we have this very sketchy event that took place. A very, very sketchy event that makes no sense. How they could have not have possibly have not seen this person on the roof. It was absolutely ridiculous beyond words. Just like it's ridiculous beyond words to think that the hole in the ear of the rabbit is a coincidence. That is, without a doubt, after all these years, this is the most solid, most solidifying proof of something real with that cartoon. Forget the pandemic, even though it does show that as well. Forget all that crap. This is it. And on top of that, implying that hole in the ear is the exit time, on top of that, argue otherwise if you don't agree, I don't care. But to me, this is just ridiculous. So I'm just a little bit concerned, that's all. Not to push fear or anything. It's concerning to see that that is the exit sign. And what follows after, who the hell knows, if anything at all.